Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Man, so excited to be here with you all. It has been a minute since we have done a YouTube live. Man, let me see who's in here right now. If you don't mind, go ahead and let me know where you're calling in from. Let me know where you are, what city you're from, what state you're from. I'm from Newport Beach, California, but I want to see who's in here right now and make sure my chat box is working. So I can say hello to a few of you guys. Man, it has been a while since we've done one of these YouTube lives, and I'm extremely excited to be here with you guys. Part of the reason why I'm putting on this live right now is many of you taxpayers who are out there are preparing to file your tax returns from 2022. I know it because all of the tax documents are coming in the mail for me right now. So I can only imagine how many documents are coming inside of your mailbox. And one of the other things that you have to be aware of already, because I know you guys are smart taxpayers, is you already know that you're being taxed in 2023. I mean, you watch my YouTube channel, you know that I'm a proactive tax strategist. So if you're being proactive right now, then you're already thinking about what things can you be doing strategically to help minimize your tax bill, knowing that tax laws change and knowing that we are already almost 3 months into the year. Welcome back in, guys. What I want to do today is I want to update you guys on my life. I think that's important to do so we can spend some time chatting. I want to say hi to a few of you guys who have already joined in. Let's see. I got Erica coming in from Bay Area, California. Okay, so we got another California person here. Got somebody calling in from Chicago. George Powell from Indianapolis. Hello, George. We got Chris Hill from Houston, Texas. Carla Harb from Santa Ana, California. Woo! Santa Ana, that's right down the street from me. Kyle Hamilton from good afternoon from Indianapolis, Indiana. And then we got Sierra Aragon from Ontario, California. Grant Walker from Orlando, Florida. Man, I want to say hello to all of you guys, but I know that there's so much that I want to cover today. And first thing I want to cover is the year that we had last year as a team. My team and I, as you guys know, I run a tax strategy consulting firm. My team and I decided to start our very own mastermind last year, and it was absolutely amazing. This mastermind is called Tax Strategy Accelerator, and this is where I spend a majority of my time. I help entrepreneurs like yourself put together a tax plan that matches your lifestyle, and so you can pay the least amount of taxes possible. How many of you guys want to pay the least amount of taxes possible, not only on your tax returns for 2022, but for 2023? Put a yes in the chat box right now if that is you. If you're somebody that you're here because I really just do not want to pay Uncle Sam any more than I have to. Matter of fact, I don't know who Uncle Sam is. I know who my uncles are. He doesn't fit into my family. I don't want him in my pockets. It feels like everything is already getting more expensive. And the last person who I want to be my business partner is Mr. Uncle SAM. If that is the reason why you're here, welcome. I just want to make sure that I know. Put a yes in the chat box because I don't want Uncle Sam being my silent partner as well. But many of you business owners have Uncle Sam being one of your biggest partners in your business. How many of you guys are going to write a 5-figure tax bill this year? Put the number 5 in the chat box if that is you. If you already know it, you already know, you're already feeling the sting, you know you're going to be writing a 5-figure tax bill, put the number 5 in the chat box. How many of you guys are going to be writing a 6-figure tax bill? Put the number 6 in the chat box. Do I dare even go there? Do I dare even say it? How many of you guys are going to be writing a 7-figure tax bill? We got to get real today. What we're going to do is we're going to get real transparent on where we are so we can remove ourselves from the situation and get ourselves where we want to go. Sound good? But I need to know, how many of you guys are going to be writing 5-figure tax bills? How many of you guys are going to be writing 6-figure tax bills? How many of you guys are going to be writing 7-figure tax bills? And how many of you guys don't even know how much tax you're going to be writing? Put a question mark in the chat box if that is you. If you say, Karlton, you know what? I don't even know how much tax I'm going to be owing. I'm a little bit out of the clue right now on that. And we'll get there. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Karlton Dennis. I did not grow up wanting to do taxes. I want to give you guys just a small, quick background, and then we're going to go into what I want to teach you for today. I had no intentions of becoming a tax professional, no intentions of becoming a tax strategist. But earlier this week on Monday, we just crossed over 500,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And that is testimony to you guys. So I just want to say thank you so much for being followers of mine. And thank you so much for absorbing the content and sharing it. One of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing was because there was a void in the marketplace of tax professionals actually teaching people how to save money. Okay. Now, I know that many of you guys on here probably have tax professionals. I'm not going to speak on your tax professionals, your CPAs, your mom's CPAs, your dad's CPAs, or anything in between. All I'm going to tell you is that when I came onto the scene, that there was nobody on YouTube, nobody on Instagram, nobody anywhere teaching people what the difference was between an LLC, an S-corp, a C-corp, how much you should be paying yourself, how to avoid the IRS, and how to make sure you're leveraging the tax code like the wealthy. Put the letter W in the chat box if you want to get like the wealthy and be able to leverage the tax code like them. Because a part of the reason why I got into the game was because my mother, who just spoke on the news channel about an hour and a half ago on CNBC, shout out moms, she taught me that the way in which you can get to financial freedom is through the tax code. That's what she taught me. She's like, Karlton, if you want to be able to have your time back, do the things that you want to do, leave a big legacy and a big footprint on this earth, the fastest way to get there is by eliminating your taxes. Okay. Now, I was a sports athlete. I went to school, played football, did the whole college football thing. That didn't end up going into the whole professional career, so I'm not going to bore you with that story. But I decided to get a career in sales first. When I got a career in sales, I realized I should probably be working for my mother's own company as opposed to somebody else's company. So I made the shift over to my mother's firm and installed her very first sales team in a tax and accounting company. Now, this was very new to her. And one of the things that I had to do very quickly was figure out, what do I need to know in order to be able to get on the phone and tell somebody that we can help them? And this required me to study a lot of tax law and a lot of tax code. Now, one of the things that I'm really good at is I'm really good at memorizing things when I really want to learn something. And I really wanted to learn how to help people. And one of the things that I've gotten really good at is I've gotten really good at taking complex tax issues, such as how you should be placing your children on payroll or taking a home office or using a charitable remainder trust. And I'm able to simplify these tax issues in a way in which you can understand and implement them. What I want to do today is I want to talk to you about how you guys can implement tax strategies in a way that can make sure that you're never overpaying. And I know the best way to show you is with me taking some time to go into my iPad. How many of you guys are visual learners and like to learn visually? Put a W or put a V in the chat box if you're a visual learner, because I'm a visual learner. And when I decided to go into taxes, I did not want to sit in front of a book 100% of the time. I wanted someone to be able to draw examples on the whiteboard and be able to explain to me how this is all going to work. And if I got really good at it, I knew I was going to be able to teach others. And that's henceforth why we started the YouTube channel. Thank you so much, guys, for helping me get to 500,000. I also want to say thank you to those who have already joined the Tax-Free Wealth Challenge. If you haven't already, feel free to click on the link below in the description. We are starting on Monday, the Tax-Free Wealth Challenge, which will kick off at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. The Tax-Free Wealth Challenge is my personal event that I launch maybe once or twice a year, where I'm teaching you advanced tax strategies that I will never, ever, ever, ever release on my YouTube channel. I do have a secret bag of goodies that has helped my company grow, and I share that with you over 5 days during the Tax-Free Wealth Challenge. Many of my clients who are working with me right now, who are able to text message me and have a great relationship with me, actually came from the Tax-Free Wealth Challenge that we launched last November and last July. Majority of these taxpayers are now, some of them, 100% tax-free. Some of them purchased their very first investment properties with my help. And some of them are now in a situation where their children are working inside of their businesses and they have a vision on how they can grow their firm. If that is you, I'm encouraging you to join the Tax-Free Wealth Challenge, and I won't spend any more time talking about that. What I want to do is I want to take some time to talk to you guys about how you can best avoid overpaying taxes in 2023. And if you're somebody like me, you probably already have a pen and paper out because you knew that you came to learn today. What I want to do is I want to take it very slow, because one of the things that you have to understand is that finding success with your taxes is really a step-by-step process. It's nothing too complicated. And I'm not going to go complicated on this call today. I want to make sure that everyone walks away from here knowing exactly what they need to do in order to save the most amount of money possible. And here's how I want to start this thing off. I want you to write this down with me, and we're going to talk through this. The number one most important way, and it might sound rhetorical, the number one most important way for you to avoid paying high taxes is to upgrade your knowledge before you upgrade your tax professional. Okay? So I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna need you to upgrade your knowledge before you upgrade your tax professional. What do I mean by this? What I mean by this is majority of the taxpayers who have come to our firm or who have come to our office did not come to our office because they needed a tax professional just to file a tax return. A majority of the taxpayers who have come to our office because they were studying information on taxes and something provoked them to want to schedule a consultation to learn whether or not we could help them reduce their overall tax bill. One of the things that you're going to have to learn as a taxpayer is that you're going to have to upgrade your knowledge before you upgrade your professionals. And one of the things that I did in order to make sure that I was helping my taxpayers upgrade their knowledge was I shared with them some books that help them understand taxes in a very simplified way. Some of the books that I recommend is a book called Tax-Free Wealth, which is the name of my event. Tax-Free Wealth is a book that was written by Robert Kiyosaki and Tom Wheelwright. Robert and Tom are best friends. Robert's a real estate investor. Tom Wheelwright is a CPA and tax professional. Robert helped Tom formulate the book Tax-Free Wealth, which is now New York Times bestseller, et cetera, et cetera. But one of the things that the book solved was it simplified why certain individuals pay taxes and certain individuals will never pay taxes. And what it also identified was the difference between a tax professional and a tax accountant. One of the things that you will come to learn is that just like there are doctors who perform heart surgeries and knee surgeries, there are tax professionals who just focus on helping taxpayers reduce their tax bill. And there are accountants who just focus on filing tax returns. And you're not going to understand whether or not there is a difference until you upgrade your knowledge and start to realize that these are two different people and there are two different conversations that you can have. One of the things that I really like educating my taxpayers on is the different seasons that we're in. And I look at a tax year kind of like I look at a racetrack. The year ends December 31st. That's it. Which means that anything meaningful that you could have done with your taxes needed to have been done prior to December 31st. Right now, we're about to head into the month of March, I believe in about a day or two. So we're already about to jump into the third month of the year. Most taxpayers right now are receiving their financial information during these months, January, February, and some of you taxpayers who have investments are receiving your tax information in the months of March and April when you guys get your K-1s. But a majority of taxpayers who are receiving their information between the months of January and February are focused on filing their tax return to remain in compliance with the IRS. This is something that every single taxpayer who has a pulse and makes over $12,200 has to do. They have to file a tax return. Now, here's the difference between most taxpayers and wealthy taxpayers. What do I mean by wealthy taxpayers? Wealthy taxpayers are those who have found ways to avoid taxes on their way to wealth. And so what they're doing between the months of January, February, March, and April is they're finding out how much potential income they're going to make in 2023 right now. They're already determining this because they have data, they have information. If you have January's income and expenses, February's income and expenses, couldn't you kind of do a forecast to determine, based on 2023's tax laws, this is how much I might end up owing this year or possibly getting back in a refund if I'm going to get a refund? Couldn't you figure that out right now? Which means that you have the ability to make financial decisions to impact the amount of taxes that you're going to pay on this income in 2023. While the most other taxpayers are preparing to stay in compliance with the IRS. Okay? So the very first thing that you have to do, you first have to upgrade your knowledge before you decide to upgrade your tax professionals. Because what you'll realize is that you might need two tax professionals. One tax professional who's helping you file the tax return, and one tax professional who you've designated to help you figure out how to avoid taxes and who is already running this forecast for you. Does that make sense? Put a yes in the chat box if you're following me so far. Put a no in the chat box if you're completely lost and I need to go find you. It's okay. We'll take some time. Perfect. Perfect. Now, here's the second thing that I want to make sure that we do. I'm not going to be the bearer of bad news. I'm just a realist. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Let me make sure this works. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. All right. I am not the bearer of bad news, but I am just a realist. The second thing that we have to get really real on, taxpayers, is we have to get real on taking full ownership. One of the things that I hear all the time with my sales team is my sales team will sometimes tell me, you know, they're blaming their CPAs. I say, yeah, a lot of taxpayers naturally are going to blame their CPAs for not helping them. And one of the things that we hear all the time is, Karlton, why didn't my CPA tell me to do this? Why didn't my CPA come up with this idea? Why didn't my CPA know that we had the ability to do the 179 vehicle deduction? Why didn't he recommend for us to take the Augusta rule? Why isn't he showing me how to place my children on payroll? And one of the things that I had to come to realization with early on when I was a tax professional was that I could not force CPAs who are not trained in tax reduction strategies to have conversations with business owners who are trying to reduce their taxes. I could not force CPAs who were not trained in tax reduction strategies to get on the phone or Zoom calls with entrepreneurs who are looking to reduce their taxes. I could not force them. Okay. So what I had to do was I had to make a divide. I had to separate my office. I had to decide what are the strengths of my CPAs and what are the strengths of my enrolled agents and my tax professionals. And what I've come to realize is that my enrolled agents and my tax professionals have a strength of wanting to communicate how to do something, how to set up your LLC correctly so no one knows where your address is, your name, or any association of you. How to structure so that your children are actually doing legitimate work. So when you place them on payroll and you ever get audited, that you're not sitting there scratching your head wondering if you should have ever taken this deduction. How do you actually do it? Versus, I'm not sure if that's something you should be doing. I think that is actually something you can do. Or the CPA that's also telling you, well, that's a great idea. And you're the one that has to bring them the ideas. If you're spending more time studying tax education on YouTube than your tax professional is, but then he is studying on new tax laws and how to help you, that is a problem. And that's when you've come to the knowledge base where you can take full ownership and determine what you're going to do. For most taxpayers, they're first going to have a conversation with their CPA. They're going to get really clear on what their CPA does. They're going to find out, okay, my CPA is really good at sending me emails right towards the end of the year, making sure that I've done my bookkeeping. He's really good at that. He's also really good when I jump over into January and February, getting me all of the information that he needs, making sure I give him all the information that he needs to file the tax returns. But somehow, every time that I try to bridge this gap with him or her and try to figure out what could we be doing, what could we be doing differently, and try to talk game and strategy, it doesn't feel like the conversation goes anywhere. This is when you know that it's time to insert another tax professional onto your team. I'm not telling you to abandon your CPA. I'm not telling you to fire your CPA. I'm just telling you to realize that there's certain tax professionals that focus solely on the compliance piece. And there are certain tax professionals who solely focus on tax law and education around how to implement these complex strategies. And you, taxpayer, are the full owner of your tax situation. It is not your dad's fault or your mother's fault that they decided to pass down the same account CPA that they've been using to you. It is your full ownership on what you're going to pay in your taxes and whether or not you feel like you've done absolutely everything that you possibly can to reduce your overall tax bill. Are you following me? And when we have this conversation with taxpayers, we're not trying to stroke an ego. We just want to get real. Like, hey, man, listen, your CPA is awesome. I mean, you can put me in a group message with him, put me in a group email with him. You know, he's filing your tax returns correctly. He's just not taking advantage of any strategies. So maybe it's not his role to be your tax strategist. His role is to be your CPA, to account for the items that go inside of your tax return. Follow me? So rule number 2 to making sure we're never going to overpay on our taxes. We're going to take full ownership of our tax situation. We're going to get real clear on it. We're going to get very clear on it because once we get clear on this, then we can jump to step number 3. Step number 3 is understanding the difference between information and implementation. I have a lot of conversations now with my mastermind members. And a lot of my mastermind members are business owners from various different parts of the United States. Some are in Florida, some are in Hawaii, some are retired veterans who are still doing things. And I have certain public officials. I have all different types of taxpayers who are inside of my mastermind. And one of the most important things that they told me that was the difference between what we're doing right now and what they were previously doing was that they were receiving a lot of information, but there was never any implementation. And I think a lot of you taxpayers have a lot of confidence around some of the information that you've seen online. You have confidence around knowing that vehicles that weigh over 6,000 pounds, that you can write them off in 1 year and that bonus depreciation is going to 80% and then 60% and then 40%. You have a lot of information, taxpayers. You guys are extremely smart. I know it because my tax team tells me all the time. You guys even understand some of the advanced stuff that we talk about, such as like cost segregations, or when we discuss real estate losses and how to use the losses to offset your W-2 or your 1099 income. You guys are really smart. You understand a lot of this information. But who have you designated to help you implement those tax strategies? That is my next question. Put a yes in the tax box if you have an implementer. Put no in the chat box if you currently do not have an implementer. And this is something that I really want to make sure that we take some time to answer. And I'll wait. Put yes in the comments box if you have an implementer, someone that is helping you implement tax strategies. Put no in the chat box if you do not have an implementer. Someone who really helps you implement tax strategies. Let me explain what that looks like in case you're not sure what that means. When I say someone who helps you implement tax strategies, someone who is helping you determine what your children are going to do in your businesses in order for them to be on payroll and then receive a tax deduction. Someone who's helping you determine which state to set up your entity, how to set up your operating agreement if you're getting into business with a partner who you may or may not like, or may not trust, or someone who is a family member that you love right now and things could change later. Someone who is helping you determine what type of investment property to buy in order to satisfy the losses you're going to need on your tax return. Someone who is showing you how you can position yourself on the tax return to manage your properties just enough so that way you can avoid W-2 or 1099 income. That is what I mean. Do you have an implementer or do you not? And I just want to make sure that I have some time to look. Okay. Yes. Okay. No. Okay. Dwayne said no. Papa Bear said no. Jordan Cheatman said no. Frank Stein said no. Ben Barson said no. Harlan said no. Okay. So a lot of us do not have implementers. This is great. I'm glad that we're going through this. There is a difference between information and implementation. First comes the information, right? Which is part of the reason why we're working in this order. I said you're going to need to upgrade your knowledge. That was step number 1 before you can upgrade your tax professionals. You got to know when it even makes sense to hire a tax professional, right? And really upgrading your knowledge is going to help with that. once we upgrade our knowledge, we're going to take full ownership of our situation. We're not going to blame our CPAs. We're not going to blame our parents. We're not going to blame anyone else but ourselves. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we're not just getting just the information now, that we're finding someone who can help us implement the strategies. And most strategies you can implement on your own. Most strategies, I would say about 70% of tax strategies you should be able to implement on your own. Because there's enough information on the internet, and I did a pretty good job of that, I think, with my YouTube channel. There's enough information online where you can implement a majority of tax strategies yourself. It's truly the other 30% of tax strategies that you really need a professional for. You know, that stuff that you're like, if I get this wrong, I don't even want to know what the IRS is going to think. And I'm just like trying to make sure that I can do the things that the upper wealthy, echelon class are doing, but I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble because I have a little bit of fear of what could happen with the IRS because of lack of knowledge and lack of finding my tax professional. And that is where we have to really adjust our approach. So here's the thing. If you're not going to implement the tax strategies, who will? If you're not going to implement the tax strategies and you haven't designated somebody to implement the tax strategies, who is going to implement it, right? That's a question we should probably get really clear on heading into the third month of the year. Knowing that most people are just thinking about how they can make more money and filing their tax returns for last year, while the savvy entrepreneur is already thinking about who is the person that's going to help me implement my tax strategies for this year, knowing that time is of the essence. All right, I want to move along because this is becoming a great exercise. The wealthy, and I know we're starting to get into this conversation, the wealthy do more checkups than the middle class. What do I mean by this? The wealthy do more checkups than the middle class. How many of you guys have somebody in your family or somebody who you know, it could be a relative, it could be a friend who is extremely wealthy or somewhat wealthy? Doesn't it feel like this person has like a doctor or a specialist for everything, right? It's like maybe you have just like your primary care doctor. You maybe have like Blue Cross or, Kaiser Permanente, but it seems like they have their own trainer and their own cardiologist. And maybe they have their own doctor that they can just text message. One of the things that I've come to notice about wealthy people is they do a lot more checkups than the middle class does. They tend to be more aware of when things are going to happen in their bodies or even in their financial situations than the middle class does. And how is that? The reason why that is because when you start to upgrade your information and you get a taste of what it feels like to implement, you want to get to a place where you're doing things better. We call it best practices in the accounting space. A part of doing things better in the accounting space of best practices is having financial checkups. And I'm going to explain what that means. Financial checkup is doing what's called a baseline report. A baseline report is when someone is taking the income and expenses that you've already earned this year and is letting you know at this current moment how much you're going to owe in taxes right now for the quarter and how much you would anticipate owing in taxes for the rest of the year. This type of information is so valuable to the entrepreneur because it allows for the entrepreneur to make financial decisions. Wouldn't it be kind of weird? No. Let's see. I want to ask you guys. Wouldn't it be weird making a decision on whether or not you should buy a car that weighs over 6,000 pounds if you don't know how much you're going to owe in taxes yet? Wouldn't it be kind of weird? Yes or no, guys? Would you think it's a little bit weird to just go off and do that, just knowing that you could buy a car, and even though the government will let you write it off, isn't it weird to just do that without knowing if it's going to really save you money? Or you've heard that it's important for you to place your children on payroll, so you just go ahead and move forward calling Gusto and start cutting paychecks for your children, but you don't even know how much money it's going to save you yet. But the information brought you to wanting to do it, right? Or, you're self-employed, so you thought it's important for you to be donating to a retirement account or contributing to a retirement account. Or you knew that now that you're an S corporation that you're supposed to place yourself on payroll. So you call Gusto and tell them, yeah, just place me on payroll for whatever you guys think is reasonable. Do you know if it's really going to save you money to do that, or should we just continue to do that? I think one of the most important things that we can do as entrepreneurs is get very clear on where we are financially. And one of the things that we lack doing as entrepreneurs is we lack slowing down long enough to allow for someone to get us back on the right tracks. You see, we're all running this race. And unfortunately, some people are running the race faster than others. And part of the reason why is because they've been able to take the time to step off the track just for a moment to check their tennis shoes and make sure that they're running in the best possible shoes for this race and this game of life. But if you're running down with your head down and you're on the track and you never take the time to slow down or look up, what ends up happening is you find out, well, later on, you're actually running in no shoes. You're running in your socks. You have blisters on your feet, and you got lapped at least 20 times by other people who were able to slow down and hire professionals and do the checkups, the things that most don't do. Most people don't do checkups. I know this because I'm reminded of this all the time in the tax space when I hear sometimes of a client of mine and it breaks my heart. I find out that they're in stage 3 or stage 4 cancer because they weren't feeling well. There weren't checkups that were naturally happening. And then they find themselves in a situation, right? I don't know about you, but I don't want to get to a point where it's too late to have done something better. Where it's too late and I couldn't protect my family. It was too late and I didn't set up a trust correctly. So my children could not get my assets correctly. It's too late. I thought I had more time. We all do. We all do. It's human nature to think we have more time. Information, is not power. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. How are you going to apply the information that I'm talking to you about today? Matter of fact, some of you have already taken it upon yourselves to apply the information. You've already signed up for the tax-free wealth challenge that we're launching. You see, what's going to happen on Monday is the majority of those who have decided to make a difference in their life and make a change are going to join me at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. I think that's 7:30 Eastern Standard Time for an hour. Those who are in VIP are going to join me for an additional 30 minutes. And you're going to get really real with me about your tax situation. You're going to tell me about your business. You're going to tell me about your job. And you're going to let me know what your desires and goals are financially. And what we're going to do is we're going to spend 5 days together building out a tax plan for you and implementing strategies so you can make sure that 1, you're not overpaying on your taxes, and 2, that you have a tax professional that has your back. For those who are joining right now, and by the way, I want to make sure I get a tally of this. Can I do this, Zach? Yep, let's do it. What I'm going to do is for those who are joining right now, and I'm going to post the link because I believe it's at the bottom. For the next 20 people who join the Tax-Free Wealth Challenge, I'm going to give you access to my course, the Tax-Free Living Bundle. Well, first off, let me make sure you guys even see what that is. Can you guys see this? The Tax-Free Living Bundle is 3 different programs that I've created, that I've put together. Mainly starting off with the home office deduction, which seems to me like no one knows correctly how to take the home office deduction. This deduction is almost a mandatory, a must tax deduction that you should be taking if you're a new entrepreneur or you're an entrepreneur that knows that you are working from home. But if you do not know how to take the home office deduction, you do not need to think any further than the videos that I placed inside of this program, because I've literally broken it down step by step. And those who are inside of the program, who are joining right now to the Tax-Free Wealth Challenge, will get access to the home office deduction as a part of the bundle. You know what? You also get access to my LLC tax strategy blueprint. This blueprint I created because I wanted to make sure you had a good idea of how to structure your LLC correctly to make sure that your name is protected, and also to make sure that you understand the strategies you should be implementing first as a new entrepreneur. You're probably wondering, like, Karlton, where has this stuff been? You see, I have a lot of these programs that I've kept for a lot of my mastermind members. But we're about to jump right now into 2023, and there's people who need help more than ever right now. And you're going to be filing your 2022 tax returns here pretty soon. And some of the strategies that are inside of this program you need. So if you're joining the Tax-Free Wealth Challenge right now, and I'm going to shout out a few people because I can see people joining right now. We're getting updates. Congratulations, igrimmer76@gmail.com. Hold on a second. So it's only going to be 20 people. I'm only going to give this out to 20 people, and then it's done. Congratulations, Sola Lopez at yahoo.com. Laura Sells nm@gmail.com. Congratulations, Falcon1 Rentals at gmail.com. K Lewis 0906 at msn.com. Quentin Ling. Congratulations, Kevin Thuman. Congratulations, Black Lux LLC. Congratulations, Christopher Trunell. Okay. I think we have about, what was that, 8 or 9, 11 more to go. All right, guys. Let me jump back in. The last thing I want to teach you is to play a bigger game. This is so important. There becomes a time when you have to just bet on yourself. And one of the things that I am here and ready to help you do is I'm here and ready to help show you how you can work the tax code to, one, not live in fear of the IRS, and two, make sure that you're taking your tax deductions to the fullest extent. But you have to be willing to play a bigger game. What I mean by that is that when I tell you that a part of you playing a bigger game is that you're going to become a business owner if you're just a W-2 taxpayer, I need you to be okay with that. I need you to be okay knowing that you're going to have a business, or that you're going to have a foundation and be philanthropic, or that you're going to own investment properties, or that we're going to continue to invest in real estate and continue to build a real estate portfolio. I need you to be okay playing a bigger game because it's not just about you. And I'm hoping it's not just about you. I'm hoping your why is big enough so that when we get together and you decide to allow me to work with you, that this is something that we can do and build on together. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to transition over to the last program that comes with the bundle. And I want to make sure you guys have this, which I get asked all the time. It's Karlton, how do I make sure that I'm establishing legitimate work for my children? How do I make sure I understand how much I should pay them? When does it make sense for me to place them on payroll? And should I be placing them on payroll through a sole proprietorship, through an LLC, through a corporation? Inside of this program, How to Place Children on Payroll, our helping hand guide, you'll get a full lesson on how to establish work for your children, how to make the payment to your children, how to document and make sure everything is done correctly so that when you file a tax return, you have confidence that even if you are audited, that the IRS would never bat an eye at you because you've done everything correctly and in compliance with the law. You see, I want to make sure that everything is done kind of easy for you. And so I've broken the tax-free living bundle down into 3 separate programs: the How to Place Children on Payroll, choosing your name and state for your advanced LLC formation, and defining the home office deduction, which is the home office guide. For the next, I think we have what? How many people do we have left, Zach? Oh, okay. We got 6 people left. For the next 6 people, I'm going to give that bundle away. By the way, the VIP link, let me drop the link in here. Can I put the link in here, Z? Let me type this in for you guys. Yeah, it should be in the description. There it is. Okay. Perfect. For those that are asking what the event entails, this event will be a 5-day event where those who choose VIP, by the way, I don't know why we put an option for general admission versus VIP. If you're trying to spend time with me and actually have the ability to unmute yourself on the Zoom video call, talk to me, see me face to face, then you're going to want to choose VIP. Those who choose VIP get to spend an additional 30 minutes with me, and I get to go over questions that you have, be able to answer them for you, and also be able to take down information to be able to determine if we can partner together on being able to save money on your taxes. Those who join general admission will be on the Facebook group. They'll be able to watch the entire event from Facebook. They won't be able to ask questions. I won't be able to see them. They'll just be pretty much like zoning into the conference. Those who are VIP will actually be with me. I'll be able to see your comments. I'll be able to interact with you, and you'll be able to have a chance to talk with me directly. Also, one of the things that I want to make sure that you understand that you'll get out of this is most importantly, income shifting strategies. I'm going to teach you how to take taxes off of your tax return and shift them completely off. We're going to be determining entity formation structures, advanced entity formation structures. If you're someone that currently does not have a trust set up, you don't currently have an LLC or an S corporation, we're going to determine how to best structure your entities. If you do not know what a COP is, we're going to talk about what a COP is during the 5 days. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to take time teaching you advanced real estate tax strategies. One of the most important things I'm teaching on inside of my program, Tax Alchemy, is how to acquire an investment property, turn around, use the investment property to avoid W-2 and 1099 income taxes. One of the ways in which we can do this is by leveraging short-term rentals. But before we go into the whole process of trying to get into a short-term rental, I want to show you how you can strategically acquire a short-term rental with very little capital and then turn around and write the entire thing off. So if that is something that you're open to doing, then I want you to show up ready to go. One of the most important things that you can do for me to make sure that you're prepared is please make sure that you come with at least 2 years of your prior tax returns, because I'm going to show you information on your tax return that will determine if you overpaid on your previous taxes. If you're somebody that has a business and you're earning income right now, I want you to come with the amount of income you've already generated for this year, 2023, up to today's date. Have that income amount and any expenses that you've already incurred. If you're already knowing that you want to be able to implement strategies during these 5 days with me, I want you to also write down how many children that you currently have and any vehicles, because we will determine which ones we'll be leveraging on the tax returns. And most importantly, I want to make sure that you guys also come ready to go. I've done this event now twice, and between the two events, we've saved over $26 million in taxes. I don't need to do this event for myself. My taxes are good. I'm going to pay probably less than all of you guys in taxes. I'm not trying to brag about that. I just was proactive in figuring out my own tax situation. I don't put this event on for myself. I put this event on to share this information with those who truly want the valuable information. I believe it's only $300 to join VIP, by the way. Like for $300, first off, how many of you guys think that I can save you more than $30,000 over these next 5 days that I'm about to have? How many of you guys believe that I'm capable of helping you save over $30,000 in taxes? Put a yes in the chat box if you think I'm capable of doing it. Because I guarantee that if you implement just 5 of the strategies that I'm going to teach on day 3, that you will at least be able to save $30,000 in taxes if you're making it at least 6 figures. So if you're somebody that wants to be able to save at least $30,000 in taxes, you probably have already clicked on the link. Hell, you probably have already signed up for VIP, and I'm going to find out right now. Zach's giving me the, all right. Congratulations to Stafer. Congratulations to Stafer. I'm not going to say the whole name, so I don't want to expose your guys' emails and contact information. Congratulations to Valerie. Congratulations to, oh, this is a hard one. Glenices. Whew, that's a hard one. All right, guys, we got 3 more left. Congratulations. Those who just joined are also getting access to my tax-free living bundle. And for those who didn't see earlier, the tax-free living bundle is my home office. My home office got a complete guide on how to take the home office deduction. There's 2 different methods on how to take the home office deduction. I cover both methods, and I tell you which one is the better method for you to take based on the type of property that you're living in. I have an LLC tax strategy blueprint guide. This is pretty much a guide on how to make sure you're setting up your LLC correctly, how to make sure you're identifying your business partner's role inside of your business, and also how to make sure that you're protecting your name when you're setting up your LLC. I know that's extremely important for many of you. And most importantly, if you have children, I want to make sure that you understand how to place your children on payroll, what ages they need to be at in order for them to be on payroll, and how to make sure that you're not paying payroll taxes when you decide to place them on payroll. For those who are trying to get access to VIP, I'll post the link one more time. And what this will do is this will give you access to the event. The event is called the Tax-Free Wealth Challenge. For those who have general admission, you guys can upgrade your ticket to VIP. So I just want to make sure that you know that. Let me see if I can get the upgrade link. I'm gonna have Zach send that over to me. Zach, can you send me the upgrade link? Send it to me on Zoom. Perfect. So for those who have chose general admission, you can still upgrade your ticket. You'll have until Sunday night to upgrade your ticket. And once you become VIP, that'll be great, because then I'll be able to know who you are. Those who joined VIP last time, unmuted themselves and were pretty straight up with me. Like, Karlton, here's exactly how much money I'm making in my business. Here's the things that I've done already. I've already done this. I've already done this. Or I've already done that. What else should I be doing? Like, I want you to come ready to go. Have your questions ready, because I'm going to have my lesson in order on all the different things that I want to teach you. But I want to make sure that you just show up ready to ask me questions, because we're going to drill through a lot of questions during these 5 days. I want to make sure I can get to as many questions as possible. All right, where's the upgrade link? Let me get the upgrade link to you. Those that are trying to upgrade, I'm posting the upgrade link in the chat. This link will take you to a page where you can jump onto the VIP. And what I'll do is, if you decide to upgrade your ticket, if you're somebody that chose general admission, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you access to the program as well. I'll give you access to my program, my tax-free living bundle. Can I do that still, Zach? Is that okay? Okay, cool. So yes, for the we could do that. How many have joined so far? Just want to make sure he's okay with me doing that. Cool. All right, guys. Perfect. So for those who are joining right now, congratulations, Audister. Congratulations, Leo. Congratulations, Ryan. Congratulations. For those who are joining right now, I'm excited to spend these next 5 days with you. If you don't know, I pretty much teach tax strategies at a very, very high level, but I make sure that I dumb it down so that any person who wants to learn the tax strategy can actually walk away knowing how to implement it. But when we go into the tax-free wealth challenge, the strategies that I'm teaching are not any strategies that you've ever watched on any of my YouTube channels. Even if you watched some of my previous videos and you've seen me at conferences, I've never discussed these strategies that I'm going to be covering during these 5 days. So what I want you to know is, if you can't make it to the coaching calls, and some reason you're at work, whatever it might be, I still recommend that you join VIP. That way you can get all of the recordings. Even if you don't join every single call, you're going to want those recordings. So that way you can either take them to your CPA or leverage them yourself, or eventually rewatch them later and make your own decision on who you want to work with. But I want to make sure that you at least have these recordings. Those who have joined the challenges before in the past told me that those recordings were extremely valuable to them. Also, when you join, you'll also be a part of my Facebook group. When you join the Facebook group, I'm in there answering tax questions for people, and we go live inside the Facebook group almost every single day. So I want to make sure you guys have a connection to me, and you also can hang out with some of the other entrepreneurs who are inside of the community. One of the reasons why I like being inside of the community is because everyone can leverage each other's expertise. We have a lot of people who are in Amazon logistics businesses. I have a lot of day traders, Forex traders. I have a couple of YouTubers that are in there, some actresses and actors, and real estate investors, flippers, said day traders. We have a lot of day traders. But when you get inside, you can learn how each business owner created their business, what they're doing well, what's not working, and also figure out, oh yeah, these are the same strategies I've done. Oh wait, I haven't done these strategies either. So if you're trying to get inside the community and figure out what you're not doing, I think that's worth the $300 as well. All right. We just had another person join. Congratulations, Juniper. I'm terrible with names, guys. Jeez, I'm going to have you start reading these out. This is terrible. Perfect. Congratulations, Stacy. Congratulations, William Valencia. Congratulations, Brandon Becker. Congratulations. Oh, there. That's a lot easier. Thank you. Congratulations, Corey Millett. Congratulations, Tome Carnley. Congratulations, Christopher Trunell. Congratulations, Wylisha Wilcox. Congratulations, Oscar. Congratulations, Linda Graham. Congratulations, Serene Shaw. Congratulations, Bill Williams. Congratulations, Andre Griffin and Miyoshi and Jasmine. Congratulations, guys. All right. I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining me on this live today. Hopefully you guys found value being on here with me. I plan on being back on here probably tomorrow, so I'll post that later into the community tab. Until now, take care. I'll see you guys on Monday for the Tax Free Wealth Challenge. Cheers.